Well, that's disappointing.
What's up, guys, and Merry Christmas / Happy New Year for those who celebrate it. Pretty sure everyone celebrates New Year's at least. Either way, we are doing something different than normal, something that as a content creator, I should be doing way more often. List.
Of course!
So let's end this year the way a proper YouTuber would, with Zerodomai Kitsune's top 5 games reviewed in 2018. Still not a top 10, but I do have something extra for everyone, and remember to check out the full reviews of these titles linked below for more information. Number 5. Hakoniwa Explorer Plus. Hakoniwa was an interesting experience to say the least, one of those WTF have I gotten myself into sort of things, and I still can't really tell if this should be counted as a quirky normal game or a light eroge, because you know, those boss fights. It was really fun just running around in the world the developers created. It looks absolutely stunning no matter how you slice it. From its stages to its enemies, everything was just candy for the eyes, and not in the modern how many pixels can we fit on the screen, but in the classic how many pixels can we fit on the screen. With that said, the reason this is only number 5 on the list is because I don't know if I was playing the game right. Seriously, the weapon durability and the enchanting systems were just so annoying that I completely ignored them, choosing to fight with whatever weapon and armor fell at my feet. That, coupled with the oddities in the combat like its hit detection, didn't make me hate the combat, but I really stopped caring about how much damage I took during a fight, as long as I won in the end, which, to be honest, is only slightly better than hating the combat altogether. But hey, there's a boss that requires you to attack her ass to deal damage, so 11 out of 10 combat. I don't know why this game isn't number 1. You even have a stamina bar that has your character do a cute little exhausted pant when it's depleted. Wait a minute, stamina bar. Dark Souls! Number 4. Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash. Senran Kagura PBS was yet another surprise since, as far as I know, the series has only been known for action titles, and yet here they were flying out of their comfort zones making a third-person shooter. And it shows. Now, to be fair, this game has competent gameplay, good enough to make me come back every once in a while and grind out a few card packs, but there are some key design decisions that I just can't get behind, mainly with the fanservice minigame not mixing well with the core gameplay, but also with the weapon balance and reloading methods. Outside of that, it's a pretty fun game, standalone story that doesn't need prior knowledge of the franchise to understand, good graphics with a third-person view to allow maximum ogling of the playable characters, and surprisingly enough, the best boss fight I've seen out of the franchise so far. The card packs you collect are also chock full of fan service, including imagery from the Japanese-only Senran Kagura phone game, while also giving cool buffs to the characters during gameplay. This spin-off was a good idea and is a fine standalone, but I do hope they try again in the future, building upon what they have already created.
Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba, but it does contain the unstoppable Exodia.
Number 3. Valhalla. Continuing with the theme of surprises, this time I'm betting it is you who are surprised. A visual novel at number 3? Yes, VA11 Hall A single-handedly reminded me of how much enjoyment could be had simply going along with a story. The gameplay, the choices, I could have gone without. I just really enjoyed the story of Jill and her customers. Even now, after so much time has passed, I still remember details of the characters' stories, like how Black J. Jonah Jameson likes his beer big, or how the cat girl's ears are cosmetic and don't do anything, or how getting the Lolista bot drunk is a bad idea for anyone with strong Christian morals. The story was just that good, and complementing it was a fun little bartending simulator, not difficult by any stretch of the imagination as long as you make sure to pay Jill's bills and buy her something nice on occasion, you cheap fuck. I really liked every last part of the game, its story, its character designs, its music, its character designs, and I'm really looking forward to their next title, Nirvana, and see how they expand on the already established lore they have created, and character designs.
No. Please, Larry, you don't understand. You don't know what you're doing here.
Number 2, Eve and Nickel. Okay, I already know some heads are exploding here, and let's be clear, Eva Nickel is the best eroge I played this year, hands down, bar none. If you had told me at the time that Eva Nickel would be my number 2 by the end of the year, I would have only said, man, that Rant's X translation must have been fast, because I didn't think anything else would top this. But we will talk about that at the number 1 slot. As for Eva Nickel, this is so far the highest production eroge title I have played to date. Full 1080p resolution, 3D combat, fully voiced, this is the future. Following Aster's story throughout the world of Eva Nickel as he journeys to marry as many wives as he can, while also working as hard as he can to be able to marry said wives, was quite the surprise, as Alisoft is more mainly known for their devious main characters, but hot damn as this didn't end up being one of my favorite Alisoft stories, really showing how their storytelling only gets better with time. Now that is not to say that this game is one of those pure vanilla eroge titles, as there is plenty of darker themes hidden underneath the cotton candy exterior. But if Alisoft was trying to covet some more mainstream appeal, this was the way to do it. And hey, it's even on Steam. Kinda snuck in before the lockdown. I will admit its core gameplay isn't anything to sneeze at, but I still want to give it props for being an RPG that does away with the constant menu hopping and instead does something unique, which really helps stave off the ever-looming burnout that normally slows me down when completing RPGs. But just to reiterate, this was the best eroge title I reviewed in 2018, and in my opinion, the best eroge title overall of 2018. Hey manga gamer, Eva Nickel 2 win?
Bring his face up. Full screen. There's a reflection.
Honorable mention, Vampire. Okay, let's be honest here. It would be rude not to include this title somewhere. It's functional, the story was pretty good, I liked the idea behind it. But here's the thing, I'm a weeb. If my channel was an apartment, the walls would be covered with anime posters, most of which would be too lewd to show to a general audience, but I still played this game because I really liked the idea, so I do want to give this game and its devs a little bit of recognition. It's a fun game, but the combat did wear out its welcome rather quickly. Maybe I'll come back to it one day to see if there were any patches to improve that, but who knows.
What is song but a call to arms? What is hate but jilted love? What is life but death pending?
I am very outside my element here. Dishonorable mention, Fate Extella. It pains me to put this here on this list, but damn it Fate Extella, you are one of the worst examples of Dynasty Warriors combat I've seen in a while, and that's with the context that I think the main Musou series itself is pretty boring, with the spin-offs all having way more effort and energy put in them. And it's so disappointing because this is my favorite story of 2018. Better than Eva Nickel, better than Valhalla, and better than the number 1 spot. The emotional roller coaster of this game culminated in a climax that had me bawling harder than the end of Angel Beats. But none of that matters if the gameplay is absolute trash. Extella Link comes out in 2019 in the West, and if my patrons are willing, quick shill, I promise to take another look at it to see just how much the sequel has improved, but gameplay wise, I don't expect much.
やっと目覚めたな、我がマスターよ。うなされていたようだが、夢見が悪かったのか？
Number 1, Valkyria Chronicles 4. Now I know what you're thinking, I didn't do a review on this yet, but it's coming and hopefully rather soon, but for now just think of this as a teaser for the full review. Valkyria Chronicles 4 is basically Valkyria Chronicles 1, but bigger and a hell of a lot more anime. Like I'm talking straight up thigh highs on a miniskirt in the frozen tundra levels of anime, but still held within a harrowing war-torn tale of Squad E's mission to end the war once and for all. Now the story did start out a bit weak and was predictable enough that I was calling events long before they actually happened, but once it started picking up, it picked the fuck up and stayed up till the very end. The gameplay is a bit easier than the first game, but that's mainly because of all the new shiny features they give to the player, including the ability to command more than one unit at the same time. There's a new class that brings an entire new element into the series, squad stories to flesh out your allies, and a shiny new UI that actually feels like they put some thought into the PC port this time around. Sure, there are some negatives, the main one actually being the difficulty, since it saps some of the tension out of the game, but there's just a lot of content to bite into here, especially with the post-game content giving you plenty of things to grind for as we all wait for the glorious Galleon Crossfire 2 to be made. Fingers crossed. So that's 2018's top 5. Didn't do enough for the proper top 10, but we got close. Just means I need more content for 2019. But in the meantime, I did say I had something extra for you all, so let's quickly lightning through 2017 and 2016's reviews, including the ones still currently removed from the channel.
Round 2, fight!
Number 5, AU Senki. Fun candy-covered conquest game with plenty of fun gender-swapped historical figures, but lacking in difficulty through 90% of the game. Also, I would be remiss not to remind everyone, but Best Girl Ashoka got robbed in the HCG area. What, is it because she was black?
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Number 4, Senran Kagura Estival Versus. Fun action beat 'em up, honestly one of the better examples of the Musou formula. Plenty of characters to select from and a ton of fansers to ogle at. The gameplay is nice and smooth, but more attacks and parkour options would be nice.
でも運動会なんて今まで出たことないし、太陽の下で激しく運動なんてしたら溶けちゃう。
Number 3, Rant 6. And here we descend into the Owlsoft madness. If you didn't expect this, then you must be new here. Rant 6 is a really well done Eroge RPG within the world of Rants, dealing with the magic content Zeeth and his government. Being a part of the long-standing Rant series, the 6 entries storytelling is quite epic in nature, and the gameplay holds its own in comparison. Just don't talk about Rants 5D. It's like Devil May Cry 2, doesn't exist.
Get back, Zelda!
Number 2, Daibancho Big Bang Age. Owlsoft Eroge number 2. Unlike the Rant series, Daibancho is an isolated title, not even having much connection to the other Dai games in its series. Yet it still provides a compelling narrative, even if the main character is less memorable than others. The conquest gameplay here is a lot more unrefined than later titles, but it has its own charm, and the music is simply heavenly.
こんなもんじゃないぜ。
これでもう少し彼の力になれるかしら。
腕立て100回できるかな。
うわー、どんどん男に近づいてるぜ。
Honorable mention, Nitro Plus Blasters. This got the honorable mention slot instead of Tekken 7, sue me. I had a lot of fun with this title, even including some of my friends in the review, something I need to do more often. There are plenty of fun anime characters to play, spanning several different light novel franchises, each with their own distinguishing characteristics and tactics. Throw in an assist system and you have a pretty fun anime fighter, but at this point, finding a random online match is pretty much impossible. Gotta get on those discords. Dishonorable mention, Mass Effect Andromeda. You killed the franchise, need I say more? Number 1, Sengoku Rants. And finally, the crown jewel of the Owlsoft franchise, one of the best Eroge titles to ever exist, perfectly blending adult content with compelling conquest gameplay, featuring reimaginations of many historical figures during the Sengoku era of Japan, with plenty of original characters mixed in for good measure, tons of replayability, many different routes to complete, and even a safe for work free-for-all mode in case you're burned out of all the mature content. To me, this is the gold standard of Eroge titles, and proof that with enough thought, Eroge titles can compete with the main video game industry in terms of quality instead of simply leaning heavily on their Ero features. Can't wait for the official Manga Gamer translation, and let's hope for more titles of this quality going forward. With his initial plan shot to hell, he agrees over a few drinks to work for Oda and help them survive the turbulent times as long as he is able to screw any workers, captured soldiers, maids, carpenters, mikos, priests, knights, mages, demons, guys,
Oh my god, you could grind meat on it.
etc, 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 that he comes in contact with. And there we have it, mostly all subtitles as expected. Once again, make sure to check out the links in the description for the full reviews, and let's hope 2019 is the year I finally pick up Steam with both my YouTube channel and Twitch channel. That way I can showcase even more games that might be overlooked by the main gaming press. Remember to do all the fancy YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, and maybe hit up my Patreon if you are so inclined. I know they're going through some things, but it's still currently the best way to support my content. Well, that or sub to my Twitch channel. Either way, I'll see you guys next time. Peace!